Now, personally, I'm a big fan when it comes to elders because I feel like elders don't really get talked about enough, but also elders are really cool, especially after they retire, don't have a 9 to 5 job, all their kids and grandkids are all grown up, but it gives them a chance to do things on their own as they so please. And so, as a couple of weeks ago, I've been playing with elders in my own new save file, and it's been so much fun that I needed to build a retirement home for them to have a sense of community, but also since the new for rent pack is coming out in a couple of weeks, I thought this was a perfect opportunity to showcase the build that I did. Now, personally, when it comes to elders in The Sims 4, they're the last life stage in the game. They're very fragile, but I feel like a lot of people don't really play with them just because there's not much for them to do besides, get a new degree, a new career, whether it's full time or part time, move around, go, swimming, whatever it might be. But they can't woohoo a lot, they can't exercise a lot unless they feel very uncomfortable and close to death because Grim is like, knock, knock, knock. I'm right at your door. Move right on in with me. And we're like, no, 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 Grim. Get your ashy, crusty hands away from my Sims because you're crazy. But no, I personally love elders more than anything because they're like basically babies but with teeth and a pension, but they're like more fun to play with because there's more things to do. And ever since we got grown together, it was really fun to really dive deep with elders because they can talk to their grandkids, build family dynamics, and like I don't know, they're like really cool people. I love the outfits that we've been getting with elders for growing together and some other packs that I realized that there are some elder appropriate outfits to use them with that I feel like we need more for them. Like, I think it could be really fun if we had like cruises or, ways to kind of make them more interesting through gameplay. Like, if we had an elder game pack or an elder stuff pack, it would be so, so cool. Like a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago at this point, I made a video regarding my wish list for elders. And so if you want to go watch that video, I will link it down below in the description, alongside my friend Little Simsy's video as well that she made maybe a year ago, which I fully agree with that video as well. So if you want to watch both of them, I will link them down below. But the reason why I'm making a retirement home is because one, I'm in like this transition phase of playing my game where my elders, they have their own home that they lived in for like who knows how many years. They've moved around, they had kids, they had grandkids, they've all grown up and moved out. That my elders don't really have a sense of community because a lot of the elders that I play with are in different worlds. And I feel like for the sense of realism, the way I think for storytelling is that they have to pay money to travel to like Windenburg or Sulani or Copperdale or like any other world that they don't live in their residential world. So the way I see it is that these Sims that, are around the world or live in like the same neighborhood can all live in a retirement home, and not meaning that they're, useless and not even needed anymore. It's more so of like they have a sense of community, a sense of people that are like-minded, exciting, and just overall people that they want to get to know more. And since we're getting the for rent pack in a couple weeks, I think on December 7th, is that this build was made way before like the for rent pack even came, like the trailer and everything came out. So I wasn't like thinking in my mind, but I knew in the back of my mind that when we were gonna get like this neighborly expansion pack, I'm like, I gotta build at least something. And usually what I do is I put a bunch of Sims in one house and then give them individual rooms, but I set their bed accordingly to who their room is in. And I only have 4 bedrooms, or technically there's 5 bedrooms in this building, but technically the downstairs bedroom is for like the employees or the workers who work here. And then the upstairs are all for the elders that reside in this retirement home. We have a little living room, a little kitchen. I don't think there's any dining room in here at all now that I'm aware of, but I know I have a kitchen and a living room and a nice little big backyard. There's a yoga and art studio center in the backyard of this build. And I don't know, I think like whenever I think of growing together, I'm like thinking I could have actually put then the power walking sign around this building, because what I find so annoying with the Grown Together pack for power walking specifically is that they can't power walk in any other world unless they have that sign somewhere. So it's a little bit hard for my elders to power walk in other worlds. So I probably should have added that in, but I'll probably do that later down the line when I do more of my current householdness. And I built this all on stream. And so if you want to watch the real time part of me building this, I will link it down below. However, it has been about a month or so since I last built this. So I'm kind of stacking up on the builds because I'm pre-recording a bunch of videos since I'm going away to LA for a couple of days. So I have a lot of things to do. But I have a story that I all want to tell you all in this build. I don't know how long it will take me because I realize I had at least maybe 7 hours of footage that I had to cut down to a 25-minute video of building. And then, of course, I do my real-time tour at the end. But this build specifically, I wanted to do something that had like excitement, drama, some heartache, but all around, wholesomeness. And all the Sims that I have in this build that I might do a creative sim of, because I love Create Sim and I love elders and I want to show how I made these elders in my save file. And these Sims are Rowan, Amelia, Elias, and Darcy. Now, I didn't give them last names because I feel like last names they're cool and all, but you gotta be on your first name basis. But Rowan is an explorer. He used to be a world explorer in Salvador. That's where he kind of did all his expeditions, his explorations. He's very skilled in the whole Salvadoran culture. He loves dancing, he loves singing, he loves painting, and he basically kept all of his collectibles from his adventures in his room. And so when I was building this on stream, a few people were like kind of concerned that I had a machete in the build in the room. Like, why do elders have a machete in their bedroom? But the reason why is because Rowan is a world explorer. He has mastered his aspiration. He has very good skills. He's very handy, very athletic. And so all his life, he's always had these things laying around in his room that he had to put them somewhere. So he brought them in this retirement home, which is kind of crazy amongst the other elders and the other workers and the people that come by, but it's just who he is. He loves what he does. But Rowan is a world, jungle adventurer. And I really did not play a lot of Jungle Adventure growing up. Weird. When it first came out, basically, it felt like it's been a long time since we got Jungle Adventure. And I feel like I've grown up with it. But I didn't play a lot of Jungle Adventure like around the time it came out because I'm a little bit hesitant. It seems a little bit weird. But then as I started playing a little bit more of it, I'm like, okay, this is actually something that I'm really interested in, because what I realized is that the temple in Salvadorada, it changes every day you travel there. So the temple's never the same. It's always different layouts, different traps, different everything. And that's what I enjoy, because it kind of reminds me of the Sims 3 World Adventures, where you go to like temple to temple and then, tomb to tomb, and they're all basically the same layout, same everything, but there's like different ways to get to like the end point of the tomb or the underground. So having Jungle Adventure was a really fun like pack to have, especially kind of going there on vacation, understanding the culture, and like kind of getting to know the people in the area, but also have that experience of going to the set jungle, deadly or not. But Rowan, he was always head on first. He trusted his gut, he followed his heart, and literally went straight for the jungle. Growing up his entire life, he always felt like he needed something to prove, and proving that he could be a jungle adventurer, an explorer, he kind of took that as a challenge to saying, hey, I can do these things. And lo and behold, he made a full career out of it. He had some TV spots, some commercials, some acting gigs along the lines. He didn't really get a celebrity star or anything because he wasn't that famous, but he is a level 1.5, almost level 2 celebrity right now in my game. And he's pretty cool, very good looking, I would say. And I will say him moving into this whole retirement center wasn't like his idea, because he does have like 2 other kids that kind of put him in this home, but kind of suggested, hey, Dad, I know that you're getting up those in the years, but you're still mobile, you're still adventurous, but I wanted to give you a way where you can make new friends. And like the house is still in his name that he used to live in. The kids still live in that house because he moved back when they were from going to university. One dropped out of university, one became a lawyer, and one is like some type of freelance writer. And so his kids live in the childhood home that they were born in. And they all live in Willow Creek, so it's kind of nice. But I will say Rowan, he was married for like 24 years. His wife died a long time ago. He never really dated after that because he was too focused on his adventurers and his like expeditions, so he never got to go into a relationship when he was like about 50 or 60 years old. So I find that with Rowan at the period of his life right now, he's doing really well. He's made some friends. I mean, he's friends with Amelia, Elias, and also Darcy, and he's pretty cool. But Amelia is a retired university professor. And university, like Discovery University, was a pack that I really enjoyed a lot. It was very like heavy on and a lot to work with because the workload of being a student and then the workload of like having a social life and a career and children and everything was a lot because the way that I played it is I played with Bob Pancakes when that pack came out. And so he had a child, he had a career, he had a social life, he was divorced, and he was going to university full time with like 4 classes. Never do that ever again. It's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. But with Amelia, she went to school twice. She has 2 degrees, one in communication and one, I think, in some type of like weird culinary scientific fine arts degree. I don't know. She has 2 degrees, but I know one is communication, that's for sure. But she decided that she wanted to go back to Brightchester specifically to teach other Sims about, you know, communications, literature. That was the one. Literature. Literature and the arts. Something in that realm. I can't fully remember all of the degrees that my Sims have, but Rowan never went to school, like at all. He just went there. But no, Amelia, she retired. She went back to Brightchester to go teach, and now she's doing her own thing now that she's retired. And of course, like on the side, she still like teaches people online through virtual stuff, does skill classes, kind of goes out and about and like roams around, does some power walking in San Sequoia. And she teaches like most of her kids, that she taught in school about the life lessons that she has learned. She's never had any kids. She was never really married. So she never really had that like sit one on one relationship or family that she needed. Her parents are long gone basically, but she never had kids of her own because she couldn't have kids, and it was very sad when she found out that she couldn't. But she was happy with knowing that her kids that she taught was, well on their way to success, and that made her feel a sense of joy and a sense of purpose and happiness that she needed to move forward. And so when she found about this retirement home, she wanted to come here to kind of just have fun and make new friends. But that's kind of more of Amelia's story about what she's been doing. She lived in Brightchester, like her whole life was in Brightchester. She lived in Brightchester in those townhouses all her life. And then she went to Brightchester for 1 degree and then went to Foxbury for another degree and then stayed in Brightchester, went back to school like for teaching wise, and she lived in Brightchester for about like 65 years and then decided to move out of Brightchester in that area to move to Willow Creek where it's more calming, more wholesome, and just like not too hustle and bustle because a lot of kids were like really making that area a little bit uncomfy for her, and she has a sense of social anxiety, or she's very like socially awkward, but she managed over the years, and she's not like one of those elders where you think, oh, she's not anything, she's just there for the long haul. But no, she's really like someone that you really want to get to know. She loves gardening, she loves painting, she loves like really doing a lot of research and debate. She does like random debates with the elders in the area, which, in my mind, the way I've been playing with Amelia, she's a little bit crazy, like not like mentally crazy, but she's crazy of having a full-on debate about what's being served for lunch and also who's going where to like the city or to Salvadorada or Sulani. And I'm like, ma'am, no, we're not doing this today. We're not having a debate on who gets what, who goes where. Just go. you're not being tied down in this house. Just go and explore. But she loves debating. She was the captain of her debate team in high school, college, everything. So she's very like, you know, I never went on the debate team because I don't like arguing, and I'll get like upset. Well, not upset. I'll just get very antsy and like crazy about it. But Amelia, she's really good. But she has like a lot of like really mastered out skills. So I really want to talk more about them through gameplay when I do my current household video. And it's not related to the O'Connors at all. Since I'm making that a let's play, I need another current household that I just play by myself. So you'll see them eventually, and I'm very excited for y'all to see them. But the other sim that I have is Elias, and Elias is he is he's not retired, but he is retired in the sense of he used to be a writer for like a company for a couple of years. He was a well-published author. He still is. He makes a lot of money from his books because they're all basically masterpieces or wellly like excellent books to sell to publishers. And he is a level 3 celebrity because of his books. He's won one award for his book writing and also one award, I think, for his video that he made about how to be a published author, how to self-publish, how to get an agent, how to get all these different things, because he loves educating other people about the whole writing idea of it all. He started writing his first book when he was like 18. He has a few like memoirs and life notes and biographies about who he is, what he does, where he lived, and also his parents. He has one child who actually is still in Willow Creek, and it's really cool that they're very close by, and they're an adult who has two kids and one on the way. And they're actually thinking of the one on the way is that they're having a surrogate and also adopting, or one's adopted, one they had through a science baby, and one is they're having through a surrogate adoption, and then science baby. Yeah, so it's really really cool that they have all that going for them, and I'm really excited to make all these sims to like show you all what they look like. And I mean, I already made them by the time you watch this video, but like I want to really show you all and like just explain everything in the family tree. I love my elders because they had a full life. They have, I feel like with elders in The Sims 4, they have like this long life of living. They went to school, they had parents, their parents passed away, they had jobs, part-time jobs, full-time jobs, they graduated high school, some people got their Sims GED, some went to college, some did not, some have 3 degrees, some have none, some have explored the world, some have stayed in the same town for like 60 years, and that was Elias. But I don't know, elders just have so much to tell through their eyes and their voice and their head and everything, their whole essence. They have so many things to share to people that they need to like know more about. And I think that's what I love about Elias being a writer is that he loves telling stories. He always has. And since he was a teenager, he always was writing something particularly about his life or things around him that made him inspired to continue on in that adventure. He did eventually go to university, but he did more of an online thing for him. He went to private school when he was in high school. No, when he was in elementary school and high school, because his parents were really rich and did not want to deal with him in the whole home setting. But they knew that giving him in a higher education in a different setting gives him the opportunity to be his, like, show his full potential, basically. And so Elias went to private school, he went to boarding school, his high school years. And then he came back to Willow Creek. He lived in his parents' house until he got back on his feet. He moved out on his own in like a small little townhouse, and or it was more like a duplex, not a town, more of a duplex that he lived in. And his parents, lived on to be like 80, 90 years old, and then they passed away, had a beautiful funeral and everything. It was really nice. And with Elias being the only person in the town, well, at the time, in his little humble abode, he found someone that he could cherish, someone that he really loved, and it was really nice how the wedding kind of showed and blossomed over the years. And then they kind of parted ways, and then Elias decided to go ahead and live on his own for a couple more years, and then he kind of retired from his whole writing company career, to be a freelance, more independent writer on his own. And that's why he moved into this retirement home to kind of continue his adventures, but still kind of be independent, if that makes sense. The whole essence of the whole entire build is like independency, but you still have a sense of community where you're not tied down to just being in your room all day on these certain hours. These people still have lives. These people still are able to do things and explore and be their own person. Like Rowan, he still occasionally, not all the time, but occasionally goes to Silverado and explores of what he can find even more if he missed a few things, but he usually doesn't. He's very thorough in his like expeditions. But I will say though, he does explore like Tusulani sometimes and Tartosa and like some other worlds. Like he wants to go to the secret worlds that people are talking about all these years. Like he knew about the world in Willow Creek, that one tree, the one in Oasis Springs. And so he's like thinking, maybe he should adventure into Sulani and discover all those secrets and see what they have to offer there. But only time will tell. We don't know. But Elias, he's a writer and he's doing his best to kind of experience life on his own and his one child and his soon to be three grandkids. And I think that when he gets to meet his grandkids every once in a while, it's always nice. It's like no time has passed. It's like when they meet, they get to catch up, they get to hang out, they get to go on different rides in Copperdale on the Ferris wheel and like the scary, spooky areas. And it's like the family did not miss any time. And it's like catching up, but you were already there, you know? So I think that with a lot of what I'm saying here is that Elias is a family guy. Family guy. No, but no, I think that honestly though, I really do love how I built each and every person's room in this build because they have like what I call clutter, but clutter with a purpose. I gave, Rowan his machete. I gave all of his like cool knickknacks and paddywhacks from his expeditions. I've given Amelia what her room was like, which is very minimal. She didn't really have that much stuff anyway. And then Elias, his room is very small and very compact with all of his things. I gave him his nice little desk, and then I gave him all the things that he needed. And then, of course, this one right here, the Yeehaw room. And I'm calling Darcy the Yeehaw woman. I don't know what's called. The Yeehaw woman herself, Darcy, as what I would say one of the top most horse rider, back rider people in the entire world of Chestnut Ridge. She was born in Chestnut Ridge, moved to Oasis Springs for a couple of years, and then went to Sulani for like 3 years for some odd reason. I don't know why. And then she ended up moving from Sulani all the way to Tartosa to go get married, where she found her lovely, lovely wife. And they're not married anymore because they got divorced 1 year after her wife died. And that was very traumatic for Darcy. When I tell you that it was messy. They adopted one kid, and their kid is still alive. They're still kind of roaming around. They live in the city in San Myshuno in the Uptown District as a lawyer. And so they are doing that, which is really cool. They have no kids yet, but they're hoping to have kids. Maybe, maybe not. We haven't fully decided that yet. But Darcy was a good woman. Is a good woman. Has, a little bit hard-headedness, a little bit crazy, but she does enjoy the pastime of remembering her glory days of being a horseback rider. And her lovely horse, she named her horse Chestnut. Don't know why. But she was like, Chestnut was her horse for many years, and she ended up having another baby horse after that because Chestnut gave birth to a little foal, and that was really cute. And that horse became one of the household names of why she is how she became the world-class horseback rider in her late 30s, 40s, or whatever. And I will say, though, she no longer has horses. We kind of keep those in memory in Chestnut Ridge. There's like a little grave site for Chestnut and Little Foal, who was also grown up into be a full-grown horse and then passed away. And then, so there's like a lot of good memories to be shared with these Sims and like their story and like what they've been doing all these years. Like they have a lot of history, and like the age range between Amelia, Elias, Darcy, and Rowan, they're like 70 to like 80 years old, but they can still like move around and do things, and they'll fight you. they'll fight you until the ends of the earth to get where they want to go. Like they don't want to be tied down, not even in the slightest. But I want to also give them a sense of like a community where not only those four, but other people who come by to the retirement home, whether it's their family or friends that they have met amongst their whole entire lives that come by. They have a little paint and sip area, but they also have like a little yoga area that they do every single Wednesday. And they do their painting every Sunday, which is very fun. Paint and sip every Sunday, gardening every Tuesday, and then, well, whenever they feel like it, but they have a whole gardening club every Tuesday in this little area. But yeah, they do paint and sip, gardening, and then yoga, and it's really fun to have like these little knickknacks and these events that they have in their area to make it more wholesome and fun. And so I think whenever we get the for rent pack next month, I want to really see what I can do with all of that and not really charge any of the elders rent, but like charge them like very, very little, but their estate, whatever, pays for it. And they like doing everything. So I gave them like basketball. I've given them like a movie little station. I gave them gardening, yoga, painting, all these different things. And also they're very solar friendly. And the place that I put this is actually straight across, well, technically across the street is the pancake house, but the house next door, but across. It's basically in the same area where the pancake family lives. It's on, I think, on a 40 by 30 lot where I'm placing this. And I used a lot of the packs from other packs. I did not hold back. I really wanted to make it very creative and very different. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and go into the game and show you all the build in real time. So that way you can kind of get an idea of what the build looks like without it all being sped up. And so this build only has 5 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. The 2 bathrooms are actually on the second floor, and then the 4 up here for the bedrooms, and then the worker area is downstairs. And I did actually include 2 elevators, one on the first floor and then one on the second floor. But I also added in stairs. That way you have 2 ways of like transporting from the first floor to the second floor, however you so please. But the outside, I only put it on like a one like tint of a foundation, so that way it's not too high or too low. But I added in like some stationary bikes. I added in some chess tables, some knitting, some crocheting. And then I also added in some really fun landscaping, which I had way more fun than I ever did. That I really love how I landscaped this build. It shows life, joyfulness, greenery. It's what they needed. But in the backyard, I have over here, it's like a little bird feeder, some picnic tables, a little grill. I also have a little movie area for them so that they can watch movies outside during the summer months or during fall or whenever they want. And then I have a little seating area for them to just kind of relax. I have a gardening area to do all their gardening every Tuesday. And then a little basketball court from high school years that they can do some exercising, shoot some hoops, and like have some fun. And then on here is my favorite area. It's very simple, very just like 2-room thing, but it means more. You have like your paint and sip little area. You have your yoga area over here. And I feel like with my Sims, specifically elders and adults, I find that them doing yoga is more exciting rather than having teenagers or, young adults do yoga. But adults and elders, when they do yoga, it means something to them. It gives them the sense of life, rejuvenation, youthfulness, whatever they call it. They want to have a sense of winding down. And I think that's why I built this like whole paint and sip area and this yoga center over here for a sense of relaxation and winding down after a long hustle and bustle day, whether it's not busy or just, busy in general. But as for the interior on the main house, I have a little activity area where they can do like puzzles or Don't Make the Llama game or the Yeti game or do like some type of card game of some type. So I put that in this little area because it was going to be a dining room, but I felt it was like too small and things just didn't work that well. So it's more of like an activity area. We have the kitchen in here, and I used a lot of the Home Chef Hustle stuff pack because 1, it's a stuff pack and they're back after so long. Plus the whole pack itself is very, very nice. Now, some of the elders do their own cooking if they want to, but they also do hire some help to cook foods for them if need be after a long day or like a dinner party or just whatever they want to do. They have help to cook meals for them. But then over here, I have a little living room, which, has a lot of clutter, might I add. We have all their glasses, their phones, their mugs, their teeth. We have some knitting, some crocheting. We have their fireplace and their TV. Oh, we even have a little chessboard kit over here and some more glasses that they forgot to bring upstairs. And sometimes they come down here and, play on the piano every once in a while, late in the hours, to kind of just do whatever they want. So we have a little piano set over here. And then over here is the laundry room that no elder actually does, but the workers do their own laundry alongside the elder's laundry as well. Now for the upstairs, it's where the real magic happens for the full story of every single sim that lives here. Now over here is actually Amelia's room, who is a retired university professor. She has all of her things she had. She has a little doggy, so I put a little pet bed over here on the corner. And then of course, all the other knickknacks and paddywhacks for Amelia, her little side table, her glasses, notebook, watch, keys, and phone. And then over here is actually where Elias, this is actually Elias's bedroom. And as you can see, it's very, very small, very cramped, not a lot of room, but that's what he enjoys. And so that's what I gave him. And Elias loves writing. So I gave him the desk from the Werewolf pack, the typewriter, his little wardrobe from the Yeehaw pack, the TV that I think we got from Eco Lifestyle, or probably that base room treasure kit. And of course I have little toys because little miss over here, Amelia, has her pet, and so we keep kind of the pet stuff in here. And then over here is actually Rowan's bedroom, and Rowan has actually the biggest room in the entire house. And so Rowan has a double bed. He has also all of his treasures from all of his hunting and explorations. We have his machete that I mentioned earlier, some knickknacks from his travels, and of course all of his posters and plants and notebooks and things. But this is his room. And then over here is Darcy's room, who is the Yeehaw woman of the world. And when I tell you she's a Yeehaw woman, she really is a Yeehaw woman. She has all of her trophies, from jumping to having the barrel racing, and I think this is also endurance racing. So she has a lot of first place trophies. Some of the other ones are all back at her old house in Chestnut Ridge. She has her wine nectar rack over here with nothing in it, but she eventually probably will one day when she goes back to Chestnut Ridge for a little vacation. But then we have her guitar from her childhood. And then she has her own little balcony, and she's the only one in this house that has a balcony. So this is very special for her to kind of sit out here and relax, get some sun rays, and just kind of wind down and listen to some tunes on the radio while she sips her lovely nectar that she made when she was living in Chestnut Ridge a couple years ago. And of course, all these are all finely excellent aged, of course. But I wanted to really give this whole build a sense of character for each and every room to show there's personality in it. Like we have the writer's room, we have the professor's room, we have the whole jungle adventure exploration room, and then we have the Yeehaw room. And this bed is actually, I think it's from the Yeehaw pack, which is called Horse Ranch. I just call it Yeehaw because that's what I see. But it's from the Horse Ranch pack if you're wondering where this bed is from. But I really love this build. And if you want to download it, it's on the gallery for download. My origin ID is just SpringSims, all one word, but all the details are down below in the description, along with the Elder wishlist video that I made and little Simsy made, and of course some other links as well for you all to peruse around look. To peruse and look at whenever you so please. But with that being said, I do hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments below of what do you think of Elders in The Sims 4, but also what do you think of my build? Do you want to see more of it? Do you want to see a little current household video of these Elders? Give me all your details down below. But as always, I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!